So we decided to give a wee shout out to my friend Glenn, actually, who made this awesome t-shirt, or designed this awesome t-shirt, and has actually made the backtrack that you're listening to right now for this podcast. Basically, I just want to shout him out because he's a really good friend and he's a really good music artist, and I highly recommend you go out and check out his channel on SoundCloud. The link will be in the description of everywhere for you guys to listen to. I highly recommend it. It's really good music. See you in the podcast.
Hola, putos! Welcome to the Cromey Show.
Yes.
Back at it. We missed a week, but
we missed 1 week, but we're back again, stronger and better, healthier. There's been a lot of renovations going on in the house.
the fridge is getting painted pink.
The fridge is being painted pink, absolutely, yeah. There's a lot of new colours around the place. All very exciting. We'll show you guys those when they're all finished. But yeah, so absolutely. We're probably going to get back to a regular schedule in the next 2 weeks, I'd say. Yeah, it's going to pick up again this week, and then it'll pick up back to normal, hopefully the week after that. So, because my room is completely off. Can't really work in there at the moment, so there's no desk or anything. So editing would be really slow. So that's why that's one of the reasons why they're going to be quite slow. But anyway, today's agenda: weight loss. Hell yes. Weight loss is a massive one. So many people have so many questions about weight loss, and people don't actually listen. They don't really want to hear the answers.
You don't want to hear the answers because the answers are so simple.
The answers are really simple. Weight loss is a
really simple idea. It's hard to put into practice, or can be hard. It's difficult.
Yeah.
But it is a simple structure.
It's a simple process.
It's a simple process.
But it takes time. Yeah. Which is a massive thing that people don't really want to give it. Because it takes time and consistency, essentially, to lose weight. And if you wanted to put it into an equation, something that's really simple is always move more, eat less equals weight loss.
Or calories in, calories out. It's
calories in versus calories out. Exactly, yeah. So like you've got to see both of these things, and then that's going to equate to your actual weight. But today we're going to tackle some of the questions that we're doing, or that we've received most.
Relatively.
So yeah.
That we get asked most frequently.
There you go. Frequently, yeah. But first off, we're going to address kind of our experience with weight loss, because we're both kind of in a bit of a really interesting moment, I think, in new sort
We're
of
in an
weight loss
odd place at the minute.
Yeah.
Luke is has done his weight loss. So I think you're trying to gain more weight at this stage.
Kind of, sort of,
slowly, lean, kind of mass, bulk.
Yeah.
And me more just cut fat, but without sacrificing going through muscle atrophy to a certain extent, or losing too much muscle.
So to keep muscle, lose fat.
Because simply,
which is where it gets a little
if you
more
simply put it,
then.
if you want to lose weight and you just have the weight loss, you could eat nothing and just lose. You will lose weight.
Yeah.
But to do it
less.
Yeah, to do it healthily and to do it in a smart kind of calculated approach. You do need to research some stuff. You need to know what you're doing, so that you can lose, so that you don't lose muscle, or that you don't sacrifice function of life.
Yeah, exactly. And that's a big thing as well. Or if you have a specific goal, then there's specific rules that you're going to have to create or adhere to, which you can get from people like us, personal trainers, or fitness influencers, also like us, nutritionists. We're not like us. Not like us. We're not optimal nutritionists.
We're not nutritionists.
However, we do have a wide and I think a pretty good grasp on nutrition
so far.
So far, as a thing, we know how to get what we want. I think we know how to get
what
most people want. Yeah. However, there are more intricate parts of nutrition that we could delve deeper into, and hopefully maybe do a course or something learned on in the future. Definitely something fun to learn. But first, Jake, I'm going to ask you, what is your experience, or your most recent experience with weight loss?
It's a valid time to ask that question right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Jake's burning quite a lot of weight right now.
I'm currently in my most optimal weight loss window at the minute. I've been losing the most weight as of now since I've ever started looking into this and looking how to lose weight. And it was simply people say you get that moment where it sparks you to lose weight. You hear a lot of bigger people who got thin or who got healthy. Yeah. And they say, oh, when I seen this, boom, motivation happened and you started losing weight.
And clicks into place almost.
My click was after my birthday.
Okay.
So I ate a stupendous amount of shit.
Yeah.
And bad foods, and I was drinking for my birthday because I was just celebrate 20th. Yeah. And my 20th was during this whole during the quarantine.
Yeah.
So I went off, and then I weighed myself the morning after, and I was 95 kg, which my lightest when I was like at most athletic or most like
that's
slender,
juicy. That's a juicy.
that is juicy. Like my lightest I've been at like a healthy kind of my fully grown weight was 81 kg or something. And I was 95, and I was like, oh fuck, guts there, gotta kind of step up, being a personal trainer and that. And it happens, I think it happens to everyone.
Oh yeah,
especially like we're 7 weeks into quarantine, 6 weeks into quarantine at that stage, we're 9 weeks or 8 weeks now.
There's nothing wrong with being overweight if you're okay with it and it's not unhealthy. Like Jake,
no, but I
felt
felt like I'd become hypocritical giving out advice
and then there's
not being able to back it up by what I was doing,
which would be a trigger for you wanting to lose weight.
So I started obviously like looking from my prior knowledge base on how to lose weight before. Decrease my calories, and it was actually my least significant weight loss, like calorie cut I've ever done in my weight loss, because usually I cut 700, 800 calories and virtually starved myself to lose weight. That's what I kind of been doing throughout my kind of weight loss career, for lack of a better word. But looking through like the ACSM, the ACSM recommendation, which is the American College of Sports Medicine, I looked into their stuff and seeing that they recommend, and other studies I've seen online recommend, maximum calorie deficit between 500 and 1,000 calories, between your obviously maintenance weight. So I decided to decrease it 250 for 1 week. So I decreased it 250. I increased my workload, so that's that same fundamental calorie deficit. So calories in was less, and the calories out was more. In a sense,
eat less, move more.
Eat less, move more. Simple as stop eating sugary foods. I stopped eating all of that, and stop drinking alcohol. That was a big thing because I like having a drink. I'm a trained mixologist. No, don't be up my own hole.
Pretty good mixologist as well.
That's why I'm drinking an espresso martini.
Absolutely, Jake coming to the Cromey Show
very
soon.
Will be coming to the Cromey Show. I'll show you how to make a few cocktails. Try to be as healthy as possible. It's not that healthy.
Absolutely,
but you can put them into a healthy lifestyle.
Healthy with the correct frequency, I think.
Right? So I stopped drinking alcohol, and noticed on that 250, I think I lost a kg in the first week, and then I dropped it again the next week. I dropped it only 50 calories. So I was now down 300. I adjusted it by 50 calories, so I was down 300, and that was working along with my appetite, so I wasn't getting hungry because you already adapted that 250 calorie restriction.
That doesn't really specific type of strategy as well doesn't actually damage your metabolism.
No, and I also wanted to maintain that muscle that I gained,
which is the most optimal for if you want to keep a healthy metabolism, which is essentially the rate at which your body works, or the amount of energy that your body is able to use in a time window. We'll do a video on that as well because it's kind of complicated. But essentially, your metabolism is really healthy, or it's really good, and you actually people think they need to damage that to make it work faster and lose weight. You actually really need to care for it to have good weight loss in the long term, and preserve healthy muscle mass as well. And of course, mentality.
And of course, your muscle mass, the less muscle mass you use, the more optimal your body and your metabolism is at burning calories and burning fat, burning through fat. But yeah, essentially, so I dropped down. I'm currently now, this is 4 weeks out or whatever, and I weighed in at 86.5 today. Nice. And that's a steady, that's in the morning, obviously no water weight on, but that's a steady progress of about 1 kg a week. 1.5 or whatever kg a week.
Very healthy, very good.
Quite a healthy, I think the ACSM recommends a 0.9 kg or a 2 pound weight loss per week on that 500 calorie deficit. But I mean, that varies for every individual. Of course. And I mean, me and Luke have both noticed, like, we've done weight loss, thoracic weight loss before. I know Luke did it when he first went to Dublin, first went up to Pulse.
Major just cut almost starve yourself. Essentially.
I mean, you do test your body and see what you're going through,
and I think you
see
should.
What your body is. And now because of that, I knew inherently what my maintenance was. I knew how many calories I had to eat to maintain what I was. And I think Luke knows that, like, back of the book anyway. Or back of your hand. The back of a book.
Back of my book.
But yeah, so like, when you went to college. But you did notice, like, you lost so much muscle. You trained a lot through, like, your leaving cert years, your 50 years, and you got into the gym quite early.
I essentially spent about
built a lot of muscle.
2 to 3 years just building up.
You built a lot of muscle.
Youthful muscle.
Yeah, that initial newbie game muscle.
Burned through it in months.
And Luke became a stick, really.
Really did,
Like, you were shredded, but you lost a lot of muscle.
So much.
And losing that muscle meant that he had to maintain that low-calorie diet if he wanted to maintain that same weight.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas if you can maintain that muscle mass, you can have that freedom to eat 2,500 calories a day.
And I cornered myself. And essentially I cornered myself when I was doing that. Because you're afraid that, because any more you put on, because your metabolism is so damaged and thirsty for extra calories, any calories you eat, you're going to just put them back on again.
You want them, yeah. Your body,
immediately.
That state of homeostasis.
I started, and it was fat, it wasn't even muscle. Like in that state, if I started drinking or eating more, I'd just get fat again. And you see the fat before you see the muscle.
Yeah.
It was such a hard situation to be in, trying to put on more muscle but eat so little.
Yeah.
And I essentially had to break it. I put on a lot more weight then the next year, and I just kind of like just threw it all out the window, built up, and I've gone back to it. And I think I'm pretty comfortable with that. Yeah. The rate I'm at now, it feels really healthy. It feels really comfortable. I feel really functional.
And you're functional. You're as functional as you can be with
functional, happy, strong, easy.
And same as this weight loss that I've been doing at the minute has been the most functional I've been.
Yes.
When you're starving yourself, you don't feel good. You might be dropping weight like nothing else.
Yeah.
But one, it is you're dropping muscle, you're dropping fat, you're dropping all sorts of weight.
Yeah.
And then once you go the craving thing, like I would crave and crave and crave. I do 2 weeks flat out,
which makes
lose so much weight, and then eat like a pig.
Yeah.
And I'd still be in a weight loss, but no more than I would have if I just took that controlled approach where you're like a few hundred calories down and continue it for those few weeks.
Where you can still have those foods you enjoy, where you can still have foods that are good for you, where you can still train as much as you like, and you can still look good as well.
And that's
healthy.
really it. You can like
look healthy.
Like I had that in my head, or I don't know if a lot of people have that in their head, where you think that this whole weight loss thing means that you have to cut out food. You're like, right, on Monday I'm gonna stop eating all this shit. I'm gonna have to restrict myself.
On Monday, it's always Monday as well.
That's what I mean. At the start of this week, start of the week, I'm gonna restrict myself, and I'm like, you're going ham at it.
Yeah.
But that's not. It's not like viable in the long term, obviously.
If you can't start now, why?
And starting now.
Why can't you do it in the
that whole headspace of I have to start on Monday? Yeah, the whole thing was why can't you do it right now?
Yeah.
Starting it is literally not having this, like not having a chocolate bar, not having those one small things. Like stop those little things here and there. And you want to talk about sugar later on, anyway?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But even not so much. Like there's a lot of things you definitely have to stop.
Yeah.
But
you don't have to stop them.
There's alternatives, right? So there's things that are just healthier versions of what you're doing now, which is, I think, this is what I do essentially. Like I like sweets, I like crisps and like all these kind of sort of like fatty foods. I really love fatty foods.
You like fat foods. I like sugars.
I love fats. Yeah,
that's a nice contrast between like me and Luke's personalities, where Luke likes eating savoury fat foods like oils, all that type of stuff.
Oils,
and I can't get enough Haribos, alcohol, kind of like those like really sweet, sugary, those kind of taste buds.
Yeah, and both aren't necessarily bad for you, right? In moderation.
No.
Right? And both can be used. You can use both to your own benefit, essentially, and you can use them for whatever you like. But just not too much, of course. I'll talk a little bit about, just really quickly, about my most successful sort of weight loss kind of system that I've got going right now, and the weight maintenance then as well. So recently, I think it took me about 3 or 4 months of kind of consistent work to lose good fat, or bad fat, essentially, and actually preserve some muscle, right? Because I'm not too skinny now, definitely not as skinny as I was.
No.
I'm definitely not as fat as I was.
But you look healthier.
I feel healthier.
And functional. Like you're gaining functionality whilst maintaining that same weight.
Exactly, yeah. And that's the thing.
So it's more like a recomposition, a slow recomposition.
It is, essentially. And actually, I learned a lot of these strategies from reading a book called The Skinny Fat Solution, which almost addresses everything you need to know about body recomposition, which is something, if you're under the age of 22 and you haven't actually trained that much, it's a really ideal place for you to be, because you can put on muscle or maintain muscle while you lose weight, which is a really uncommon thing for a lot of people. It's a lot more difficult to do when you're a bit older, but it's really interesting.
Yeah.
But essentially, I found a sweet spot.
I think that book has been like if you're interested in it, like if you're interested in this whole process and you're serious about trying to change your weight or trying to understand how to manipulate your weight, I think definitely get that book. definitely look into it, even if it's on Audible or like an audiobook.
Check out that book, or check out the author, Igor Olshansky. He's on YouTube as well, Vitruvian Physique. We'll link him down in the description. Really good. He's like my god to physique.
Sorry for interrupting you there.
That's okay. No, of course not. Interrupt anytime you need. It's a conversation, Jay. So
I apologize.
It's a dialogue, not a monologue. But essentially, that's really good. But my most recent mantra, which I think is actually the most comfortable for me, and if anyone like me would like to do it, I highly recommend it, is understand, like, track your micronutrients, which is a massive thing because that keeps you functional on the inside. And then frequency over intensity. I don't live a very intense lifestyle. Like, it's kind of intense, the amount of things I do, but training wise it's not very intense.
You don't kill yourself every day.
I do like maybe 2 to 3 really low intensity workouts every day.
You just move all day.
I move all day.
Yeah, you just move whenever you're not moving,
walking,
or whenever you're
standing,
doing nothing, you move.
Exactly. You're walking, you're standing, you're running, you're doing your pull-ups, you're doing your push-ups. When you find yourself in a position to be able to actually, or a situation to just be able to do those things,
It's anything though.
I think do
It's
them.
like cycle to the shop instead of drive. It's just like do a squat
Exactly.
whilst you're sitting in your chair waiting for a game to load or whatever.
And it's a really, or a plank while you're watching a video.
Yeah, anything.
It's a really, like, those kind of things, and it's really easy. It seems really difficult, right? But if you can get yourself in the mentality to be able to do those things, like, weight loss is going to be
It's just
easy
an
for you. Weight maintenance is going to be easy for you.
It's not fun to think. It's a lot easier to sit in the chair. And
It's
it's a lot easier just to sit there and just like relax.
Yeah.
Easier in the sense for your head.
Yeah.
Like it's really not that taxing on your body.
Because it's mind power.
Yeah, it's
at
mind power,
that
yeah.
stage. Yeah.
But will we get into the? Are you on your?
Yeah, pretty
Monologue?
much. Almost.
No, sorry, I don't mean to.
Get enough that you want to look at how much protein you want, because at that kind of conditioning,
Yeah,
you can lose muscle. Like I would be prone to losing muscle
that is one major thing.
if I didn't get the right protein, if I didn't get the right micronutrients. So essentially, I understand all these things, so it's really easy for me to
Naturally.
not naturally.
I was born with this.
I was born with this information. No, because I've studied all of this information, I understand what it takes.
That was one thing actually
For your
in this
body.
weight cut.
Mhm.
When I cut weight, I cut every type of macro. So I cut fats, I cut carbohydrates, and I cut proteins.
Mhm.
But having a great understanding of proteins,
Yeah,
I maintain that. Like I have 90 grams a day or whatever,
yeah,
like around that.
Mhm.
And I've noticed that I haven't lost functionality or muscle mass.
yeah.
So
You feel better as well.
Yeah.
You repair some
Yeah.
faster and all that kind of crap. Yeah, absolutely. And with that, we're going to delve right into the questions that we get asked most commonly. You want to shoot away first, Jake?
I can't read.
So, first off, guys, I want to say thank you very much for listening to the podcast up to this point. Second off, we would like to show you that we are selling these organo products, which are essentially really nice coffee and really healthy coffee, all infused with a superfood called Reishi Organoderma. Back. Booyah. So basically, we've been drinking these every single day, and they're really tasty.
Yeah,
They're besides them being really tasty coffee, that's something that we could take in every day and get the reishi mushroom in every single day. It just has a bunch of really good health benefits that include the immune system, it includes energy levels, focus, muscle fatigue. All these kind of things can be improved and enhanced. Well, obviously you don't enhance your muscle pain,
Yeah.
but they can be improved on, and it can reduce those symptoms just by consuming one of these almost every day. And you can even have up to 2 every day. Some people have, like Eric and stuff, our sponsor.
Yeah.
He has, I think, 2 or 3 a day, like that. He has a bunch of these kind of like sort of reishi infused.
Well, we really have a minimum of one.
We have a minimum of 1 or 2. I sometimes have the hot chocolates in the evenings.
Yeah.
And I have coffee every single morning.
And then one black coffee in the morning, and then a latte or a hot chocolate or whatever in the evening.
Yeah, and it's just really nice. And they're really.
You could make an espresso martini.
Well, you
if
make
you
an
wanted
espresso
to.
martini,
If
yeah.
you wanted to.
Exactly.
Not going to market alcohol as healthy.
Yeah.
But you could do.
However, you can use it for health benefits,
Yes.
of course, mental health benefits. So all those things are included, not in organo, but in general. So
Brilliant product, and we love it.
And we love it, yeah, absolutely. And if you guys want to, again, there's going to be a link in the description, or you can just comment or message us directly if you want to find out a little bit more about these awesome little coffees. And, if you want to buy some as well, you can buy them directly from us. So, guys, hope you enjoy the rest of the podcast, and thank you very much for watching and listening.
So one question that we get asked is, what do you do, or what do I do when I'm no longer losing weight with my program? So yeah, what would you do if you're no longer? What advice would you give to someone if they weren't losing weight with their program?
Yeah, so with this one, this is actually one of the more common ones, and if you're watching this, you've probably asked me this before as well, and I've probably given quite a similar answer.
This question is to plateau. When you've plateaued, it's not like your program hasn't worked at all.
Yeah.
This is when the program plateaus halfway through.
Yeah, you're losing weight, and it's starting to balance out. And this happens to a lot of people. It's happened to people that train as well, and they get quite concerned about it, but it's actually completely natural.
Normal as hell.
It's completely normal as hell, yeah.
Only makes sense.
Exactly, yeah. Like when you're given a program, okay, the program isn't necessarily for you to be losing weight the rest of your life.
No.
Right? The program is designed to get you to a baseline or to a point where you're at a consistent weight, and now while you're there, you have a certain amount of calories that maintains.
So your body adapts to
weight.
stimulus, and you're like, you become the best. Your body becomes the best at training with stimulus that you're currently doing.
Exactly,
like,
and it's going to look like that.
Yeah,
it's going to look.
It
like
looks like
what
what you do. Yeah.
So now, when you're at that point, for example,
How you train, how you eat,
and how you eat, exactly. Yeah. So now, when you're at that point, what you have to do is either if your program is designed to go on a bit further, I would highly recommend recommend just like antibiotics or something like that. Finish out the course. Jake said to me, like, if it was like 16, if it's a 16-week program, for example, right, and you're at week 8. You're only halfway there, right? Finish it out, go the whole 16 weeks. If your trainer, if you believe in your trainer, if you trust your trainer, just listen to them. The chances are they know what they're doing.
Even if you're really, like, say you're week 8 into a 6-week program, and then you're like, okay, I'll trust my trainer. You listen to our advice. I'll trust my trainer. I'm not saying your trainer is us, but I trust my trainer. And then you get to week 10. And then you get to week 10, and you're like, still nothing's happening. Bring it up to your trainer. Like, the dialogue, like, you should have a nice dialogue and like a friendship between your trainer. He shouldn't be some like just a worker. Like, he's a person too. He knows. They should know, and you should be.
It gives you really valuable to us if our program isn't working.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if we're going to give that program to someone else and it's actually not working for your
100%.
situation or their scenario, that's
like, your trainer wants to have you be successful as much as you want to be successful.
Exactly.
Or like at a similar rate.
Yeah.
Like,
sure. we want you to get to the point you want to be
100%.
as much as you do. Like, it's important to us as it is to you, because it just feels incredible. Anyway, first off, for you to be happy as a side effect of what we've given you, right? So it's just incredible overall for everybody. And
it's
so
fun to train.
We can and it's fun to train, yeah.
And it's funner the more the more functional people there are. Like, if you had a town full of athletes, I'm sure that would be a heaven. Yeah, you can just do like colour runs every other day.
Everyone can do what they want. Everyone's very interactive with each other. We're healthy. All these kind of things, and people are starting to see that more than ever how important it is. So, you know, under the current climate, of course. But yeah, being your trainer or being you can change up your program then a little bit, right? So either you can make it a little bit more intense, right? If you're not too happy with the results. Wait it out, because chances are your body's going to start recomposing then. By the 8-week mark, you're going to be staying at that weight, but you're going to be losing fat and your muscles going to start showing. Yeah. Right? Or, change it up a bit then as well, work on something else, or... I actually don't really recommend to change it up as much, because sometimes people some people go into something worse. And then they end up regressing, which is the big thing when people come to diets.
You could
their diet stops working, right? Yeah. And then they go to another diet, and then start gaining weight again. They're like, oh no.
So you could plateau, then go hell for leather, and then just once again be like, hell for leather didn't work either. Now I'm just going to do nothing.
Yeah, exactly. You just give up,
and that's not the way to do it. Like,
like your body becomes what it does most consistently. So if you make a lifestyle change, over time, it's going to look like that lifestyle. So we move on to the next question then. That's pretty much. I think that's pretty good advice for that situation.
That's kind of just Like, that's quite a simple question.
Yeah.
And there's not too many like
slightly complicated answer, but it does attack it from 3 different angles. Yeah. So I think that's pretty good.
And then another question you got asked. I haven't been asked this yet, but what weight should I be?
Yeah, a good few times actually. People are kind of.
I've kind of got asked this actually, but like not directly. So black and white.
Because you can get kind of insecure about your weight, right? And people can get hung up on their weight over their general health or their actual physique.
But realistically, it doesn't really matter as long as you're in like a healthy range of weight.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that healthy range of weight, then, as we can say, is, if you want to do, is a body mass index or BMI, and we'll show it up on screen there. There's a general body mass index. So essentially, as long as you're not overweight, your weight actually isn't going to affect your health as much, right? So if you're in this green zone, this means the green zone doesn't necessarily mean you're really healthy, but it means that your weight isn't going to be impacting your health.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a lot of variables in that,
Which
being
really
like your
some
fat
variables.
percentage or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, more so than weight, you should be concerned about your fat
Body
percentage,
fat.
your body fat percentage. But yeah, BMI is a nice kind of index for your weight. And then the other, like the visual test, like nothing can. Well, you can beat the visual test.
Nothing can beat how I see myself.
But like the best tool that you might have
Yeah.
is a combination of your knowledge with the scales and how you see yourself in the mirror, or like how you look in the mirror.
Yeah.
How, like, if you can grab handles, if like all that kind of visual assessment.
Absolutely.
What you can do in everyday life, like you don't need a DEXA scan to see if you're healthy.
That's a big thing. It doesn't need to be very complicated.
Yeah.
All you need is a scale to see your weight.
Yeah.
And all you need to do is kind of look at yourself to see if you're relatively healthy looking, right?
But people might not know that. People might not know what healthy looks like.
Exactly. So like healthy isn't just six packs and
Exactly.
obliques and insane
Muscle.
quads and glutes and all this kind of crap. That's not all necessarily really healthy, right? Some of those people are actually unhealthy, right? And they're kept up by supplements and things like this that power those specific points of health or those specific points of physique. So yeah, like healthy is what feels good over the long term, right?
Yeah.
And there are parameters or there are rules that suggest what healthy is. Healthy is essentially what makes you live the longest.
Exactly.
Right.
And the most functional.
And the most functional.
The most functional.
What keeps you functional for the longest period of time. So I mean, I plan to live another century. Like I'm aiming for 120.
Yeah,
like
okay.
100%. Like that's my goal. Like that's my long-term goal. Is
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
going for 120 years old before I drop. Right? And that's because that's so far away now. Now, life, like any decision I make, feels quite insignificant. I don't have to worry too much about.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
you could eat shit and live relatively the same way
yeah, but more than that, I can.
for a period of time.
Yeah, but more than that, what I mean is I can test things out.
Yeah,
if they don't
yeah,
work,
yeah.
it's okay. I can go to something else now.
Yeah.
Or it takes that pressure off. Something doesn't have to work right now, but you got to keep finding things that work for the next 100 years. All
I
right?
think you tell a lot about your skin too, like of health.
Yeah.
Like skin is a massive dictator.
Didn't realize
Not
this until last
dictator.
year.
I didn't realize it either. Like when I had lost weight before and been at my skinniest, and I would have to say one of my least functional, and not compared to when I was like way bigger.
Yeah.
But like one of my least functional for the weight. I should have been more functional for the weight I was at.
Yeah.
And even though like I might have had like the beginnings of a six pack, but whatever, all that, I wasn't healthy per se.
Yeah.
I wasn't healthy at all. Like compared to now, where you got your macros on site, my skin feels a lot healthier. Like everything, your recovery is different. You can recover like not instantly. You can recover way faster.
Which is
I was
nuts.
going to say instantly.
Yeah,
you can recover way faster.
When you taste good
feel
recovery, that's kind of a bit like, I mean, I don't.
Yeah,
I think
that's
everyone's
a
gonna get
nice.
addicted
That's a
to
nice
it.
sign, though. That is a nice sign.
Such a good sign. Yeah. If you
When
can
it
recover-
doesn't take 4 days until you can move again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
because
that.
you're eating shit and you're just like you run 10k and you eat nothing to repair yourself.
Yeah.
Like that kind of thing.
You become like a mummy.
And that sounds
Just like-
that sounds odd, but like I literally do that. Like people do that. I'm sure people do that.
Yeah.
But that's what I thought before I started learning about all this, and that's what I would do.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So yeah, to sum that up then, what weight should you be? Look at your BMI. That's a healthy-ish weight. And then if you're in that healthy zone or that green zone, if you're not happy, there's likely, you could still be quite, like, a little bit overweight in that green zone. You can look overweight in that green zone, right? Because your height and everything is taken into account. If you're wanting, like, a six-pack, or you want those abs to show, or you want to show more of those glutes and things like that, when you do that, that's a different fitness goal, right? Then you can stop looking at your BMI, and you can start looking at what you have to put in for this specific goal. And that can be quite difficult to look at, so that's when you come to people like us, or you go to people online that can give you free stuff. I mean, we give free stuff anyway, like we'll answer any questions
Yeah.
like for free. Like we don't mind putting even together like small programs and stuff like that. But if you want personal training, like that'll completely output you. Like you'll just go really fast. You'll hit your goal a lot faster than you would if you're.
Whereas optimally, like it's two people working on one goal.
Because we're teaching you and we're giving you everything you need to get there. You know, so that's a big thing. So. Go to your trainer, look at your BMI, things like that. Once you're in a healthy weight, establish what your goal is, and then research your goal, and then take the next necessary step from there. And we'll move on to the next question. Oh, absolutely, yeah. So, a question then Jake gave me that he gets asked relatively frequently.
All the time
is
not a minute I go without it.
Yeah. How much exercise do you need to do to actually lose weight?
And this is quite. It's an easy answer.
Very easy answer.
Like it's quite a simple answer. Back to the ACSM, or ASCM, ACSM, yeah. Done. I'm terrible. I'm dyslexic as hell.
Dyslexic as hell, man.
But back to them. Their recommendation.
Forget words, but abbreviations.
Yeah, the I'm trying to think about the words and then think about the first letters of these words.
Yeah.
But abbreviations. But the ACSM recommends. That you do 3 exercise sessions a week, consisting of 30 minutes. They also recommend that your exercise sessions should burn 300 to 400 calories, which
that makes sense.
It makes sense, but that means that 30 minutes of the recommendation is quite an intense recommendation if you're doing 3 times a week.
Yeah. You could break that up through the day.
You can break that up through the day.
Yeah.
But they also do recommend, so they preface that with you should try to do something every single day.
Yeah.
And I think that's a nice model to live by, even if it's walk 5 kilometers, walk 2 kilometers, whatever. Like one thing that I've been doing.
Easy to get in the mornings.
One thing that I've been doing
meditation. Everything like that you can do while you're walking. You can do while you're stretching. You can do all this kind of stuff. You can hit 2 birds with one stone here.
Like any sort of movement whatsoever. Like I do stretching in the morning outside when it's sunny or whatever, when it's nice. I do it in my room otherwise. From like I do the same Gail Norman's routines from the studio. Like similar to routines that she does. I do all that because it's nice for your head. It gets you in that zone. But one thing that I've also added, like talking about these little bits of exercise to do, is like we have to. So we go out to our granny's house, and I probably go out every other day and just get her food and stuff for this whole quarantine thing. And her lane is a kilometer. It's 0.9 kilometers. Or it's 0.9 of a kilometer.
Frustrating. It's not 1
I know it's 0.9 of a kilometer. Her lane. And so what I've been doing is just like Mom comes out with me, so she drives. She drives out, and I just sprint the lane. So I run the lane, and that's my like. Even if like I did nothing the day before, or I might have done nothing in that day, but that running of that 9k
stimulates your metabolism, stimulates your muscles, stimulates everything.
And also, I got home and I was like, fuck it, I'll go for a cycle. I already started my exercise for the day. I've done 0.9k. I might as well do it more. So I went for a cycle as well.
Your brain feels, because of the extra dopamine that you get from that, and the extra, what is it called? Not epinephrine. Endorphins. Epinephrine. I think epinephrine is something you take, I think. I think it's like a penicillin or something like that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, a form of penicillin. But so when you do something like that, the endorphins and the dopamine that your brain gets could actually encourage your body and your brain, to do something else. So like you said, you came back and you just felt like doing a cycle.
Yeah, exactly. That same,
Right?
So like, I've done something today, I might as well, it was only a small thing, I might as well do something else.
And doing small things combined consistently will lead to greater things, right?
Doing
or
small
together
things
create greater things. So if you're looking at weight loss, the best thing you can do is a lot of small things. Right? You don't have to do one massive thing every day. That's why I think the studio is great, and so many people use our studio really well. Like they come in maybe 3 or 4 times a week. They do 3 or 4 classes. Some people do like 6 or 7 classes every single day. We see them in there. And you can see it in their physiques, in your physiques. Like it's fantastic. Like you guys look fantastic.
Some people in there that would take us like to the shots, like just like
you'd be competing with us.
Horrible.
Fully, 100%. Put us to shame. Like
how much they're there more than us.
Yeah, absolutely. Exactly. Because you guys do something intense really frequently, but you enjoy it as well. It's a nice atmosphere. You have friends there. You socialize there, and I think it does you all really, really well. And finding a place like that supports you, and that's nice to be in, that makes you feel good, and that's really, you know, relatively quick if your schedule is quite packed, or something that's even quite long. The yoga classes are what, an hour?
An hour, yeah.
And they're brilliant, right? If you have the time in the
I
evening.
think Kundalini can go longer.
Yeah, the Kundalini,
Yeah, I think so.
Like those kind of things, like, and they can be quite long, and they're quite relaxing, and they set you up for such either really good night's sleep, or a really intense night's study, or like, you know, work, all those kind of things.
And that can't be understated, even though that's an hour of your life.